Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to jump right into it because I'm going to try to make this video short but concise. Essentially, what I want to talk to you guys about today is to kind of give you guys a rapid revive training. Revive is the program that is the opioid overdose reversal for Virginia program. I want to just go over a couple things with you guys that are essential points to know if you are ever in a situation where you have to reverse someone's overdose. I'm going to make a video later on that is going to go more in depth about the program and how it came to be, laws that affect it, etc., stuff like that. But today I just want to go over like the rapid quick training. Rapid and quick are the same thing, Jessica. Anyway, what happens in an overdose? So in an overdose situation, you have too many drugs in your body. It can cause you to go unconscious, to have breathing problems. One of the biggest things that you will notice first is what you can see for someone that is overdosing. They're very often right here around their lips, the tips of their fingers will turn really pale. All over their skin is going to be really pale. Right here around their mouth and the tips of their fingers are going to be gray, sometimes like a purplish color. You will know it if you see it. You will be able to hear that their breathing is non-existent or very erratic. And before I go any farther, I just want to tell you guys really quick that there is a difference. Sometimes it's hard to see, but there is a difference between someone who is experiencing an overdose and someone who is just really high. And a lot of times it's kind of hard to differentiate between the two. So I just want to really quick run those down so you guys will be able to spot the difference if you need to. Someone that is just extremely high on whatever substance they use, their muscles are going to be relaxed. Their speech is going to be affected. They may not be making sense. If they're trying to have a conversation with you, you may notice that they are nodding out. They'll be sitting there and their eyes start to close and they're nodding out. Something else is if you can check their heart rate, check their pulse, and check their breathing. When someone is experiencing an overdose, they're going to have the purple gray color around their mouth, around their lips, the tips of their fingers. Sometimes people paint their fingers and paint their fingernails and you can't see the color of their fingernails. But I've even seen like the backside, the pads of people's fingers turn a gray or a purple color. That's usually not a good sign. But those are just things that you can look for. If their breathing is infrequent or stopped, if they are unresponsive to stimuli. And what I mean by that is if you go up to them and you don't have to do it hard, not like you're trying to rip it off, but if you pinch their earlobe, if you reach up and do it right now, it's kind of painful. And if someone is really high, they're going to respond to that. Another way that you can try to get someone to respond to you is to take your hand like this and roll these knuckles out and rub their sternum right here. And it's kind of painful if you do it right, but can you guys see how it's turning red right here? About my cleavage. But if you rub really hard on someone right there, they're not responding. If you touch their shoulder and, you're shaking them a little bit, if you're calling their name, that's what I mean when I say that they're unresponsive to stimuli. One of the other things that is an immediate clue that someone is going into an overdose or is experiencing an overdose is that you will hear a very deep rattle or a gurgle. People call it the death rattle as they're trying to breathe. So just to kind of give you guys a couple, differences between being really high and experiencing an overdose. So if you see someone that is experiencing an overdose, you go through those, they're not responding to a sternum rub or earlobe pinch, you can't get them to answer you, or if you notice that they're not breathing, that their heart rate has slowed down really low, what I want you to do is, first things first, if you have to walk away from them at any point in time, I want you to roll that person into the rescue position. And I'm going to try to put up a picture for you guys here. This right here is the rescue position. This is their very top knee brought up and curved like that. And I want you to put their hand underneath their head, like supporting their head, almost like this. I try to curl people's fingers under because it creates more distance between their mouth, anything that's laying in front of them. If they get sick, they have a little bit of height, if you know what I'm saying. It keeps them from rolling onto their back or their stomach, either one. It keeps them on their side. That front knee, your body weight will shift over, and that front knee is going to hold you because that's where your body weight is going to roll to. It keeps them from having asphyxiation. If you have to walk away from them for any reason at all, I want you to roll that person into the recovery position. Please be gentle with people that are overdosing. You don't need to slap them, punch them, kick them to try to get them awake. If you do put somebody in the recovery position, they're leaning up against a wall, please try to lay them down gently. And I know that when you are reversing an overdose, that is a very adrenaline-filled, time-sensitive situation. I know it is, but you do have enough time to be gentle with them. Call 911. If you're by yourself, lay your phone down, put it on speaker, lay it down because you're going to need both hands. If someone is with you, tell them to call 911. People that experience overdoses need to be evaluated by medical personnel, and that's why we call 911. Once you have your Narcan, once you've already called 911, I want you to take that person out of the recovery position and roll them on their back. Roll them so they're laying flat on their back. The very first thing that I want you to do is to give them Narcan right off the bat. I want you to give them Narcan as soon as possible because that is going to save their life. It knocks all the opiates off of their opiate receptors, and that is what is causing them to go into an overdose because they have an excessive amount of opiates or substances in their body. So give them Narcan. I always tell people to administer Narcan the first dose on whatever side you will remember so that you can tell the emergency personnel when they get there. You can say, I've given them 1 dose of Narcan on their right side. I always start on my right side because I'm right hand dominant. So I know that when EMS gets there, I'm going to be able to remember to tell them what side I started on. After you have administered that first dose of Narcan, if they are not breathing, I want you to start doing rescue breaths for them. If you are certified in CPR and you feel comfortable doing that, by all means, go right ahead. If you are not certified in CPR, you don't know how to do it, and for whatever reason, the 911 operator isn't talking you through it or doesn't want you to do that, but you notice the person is not breathing, I want you to do rescue breaths for them. Rescue breaths are essentially the same thing as CPR without the chest compressions. So all you're going to do is while that person is laying flat on their back, I want you to tilt their chin up to open up their airway and pinch their nose like this and breathe into their mouth. Give them 2 rescue breaths to start off with. The reason I tell people to administer Narcan first is because that Narcan can be working while you're giving them rescue breaths. So Narcan should start working within 30 to 60 seconds. Some people say longer. I don't want to say longer because brain damage occurs if your brain and your body go without oxygen for 3 minutes or more. That's a quick time. So I always tell people, administer that Narcan first. Do that rescue breathing. While you're doing the rescue breathing, hopefully that Narcan is going to work. If you notice after 30 to 60 seconds that first dose of Narcan is not working, give them a rescue breath like you have been doing. Lean back, get your other dose of Narcan ready. Put it on the opposite side of what you did the first one. Rescue breathe for them. Hopefully, by the time you get to this point, one of those doses of Narcan is going to work. Now, a lot of people, I don't want to scare you guys, because a lot of people, when you give them that first dose of Narcan, they come around. One of the myths I want to dispel in this video is that when you reverse an overdose on someone, that they're going to be combative, that they come up and, they come back to awareness and that they're angry and they're mad. That's a lie. Did they come back confused and scared and not know what's going on? Absolutely. they do, because a lot of times when people overdose, they don't realize that they're overdosing. So when they wake up, they don't know what just happened. All they know is that somebody that they may or may not know is usually leaning over top of them. It's a scary situation for them to wake up in. If you've ever had to reverse an overdose, or if you yourself have had one of your overdoses reversed, you know what it's like. When people come out of an overdose, they're in withdrawal. So they don't feel good. It's immediate because the naloxone goes in their body, knocks all of those opiates off of those opiate receptors in their brain, in their body. And the Narcan sits on that receptor. So your receptors sit like this. When you do opiates, they sit on top of the receptor like this. When you have too many of them, that's when you start to experience an overdose. When you administer Narcan, it knocks that opiate off. But Narcan is not powerful enough to like get rid of the opiates in your body. So if that person wakes up, you explain to them what happened, etc. Stay with them. Stay with them. Please don't leave them, because you may have to administer a second dose of Narcan within 30 minutes. Narcan has a very short half-life. It only lasts 30 to 90 minutes. So depending on the amount of substances that are in the person's body, you can Narcan them. They can come out of their overdose. 30 minutes to 45 minutes can pass and they can slip into another overdose, because the Narcan only lasts that 30 to 90 minutes. So then it goes off of that opiate receptor. So if there are other opiates that are left in your body, they're going to reattach to those receptors again, and you can possibly slip into an overdose again. So please don't leave people alone. I always advise people that if you are not willing to call 911, or if the person that you had to administer Narcan to isn't willing to go to the emergency room, to stay with them for at least 3 hours, because typically that gives their body enough time to process the substances that are in it. It's less likely for them to slip back into an overdose after you have administered the Narcan and you stay with them for 3 hours. That is the quick version of a revive training. Overdose deaths are completely preventable. Unfortunately, we have seen in the news, we've seen through all the medical reports and all the data coming in, that overdose rates are at an all-time high. And I know that this time of year, they start to raise. That's why I want this out there. If you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. Shoot me an email, whatever you want to do. I am going to leave a link in my description box for the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services. So you guys can go on there, and there's all kinds of good resources on there that you can read about the Revive program, how it came to be, the Good Samaritan laws, all that stuff. I am going to put all that stuff in another video, but I want this one to go up first because it's quick and you guys get the point. Something else that I want to say really quick before I go. Sorry, y'all. I know this is a long one, but it's really important. This is what nasal Narcan looks like. When you administer it, all you do is take it out of the pack. You just open the back, take it out of the pack, and you stick it up their nose like this. This is my personal one, you guys, so don't think that I'm going to use it on somebody else. You stick it up their nose like this. Once you have it in their nostril, you depress that plunger, and that's all you have to do. This is the easiest Narcan to use in my experience. They also make Narcan as a injectable. It's hard to get. It's a lot cheaper, a lot less expensive. But most places, if you go and ask for Narcan, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the nasal spray. So if you go to a Revive training and you get one of these bags, you're going to get 2 doses of Narcan. You get a face shield. You get gloves. You also get stickers that say something about having a dose or something. And they tell you in training, I do the same thing, to put that sticker on whatever side you started on. I used mine a very long time ago, so I don't have them, or I would show them to you guys. Anytime you get Narcan, you will also get this little instruction booklet. And that comes with everybody's dose. When you get a prescription filled for Narcan, or if you go to your health department and they give it to you, you get one box and there are 2 doses in each box. And both of the doses have this in there. And it tells you exactly what to do. It has illustrations on the side, how to open it, what plunger to press. I mean, it shows you the recovery position, shows you everything. So just to kind of give you guys a quick rundown. Like I said, this isn't all that I have to say about the Revive program. There's a lot of other stuff that I have wrote down, but this is the quick version of it. So that's it for today, you guys. If you have any questions, if you need Narcan, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can mail you Narcan. You can go to NEXT DISTRO. I always have that resource listed in my description box. They will mail out Narcan to you, depending on what state you're in. If you want to contact me and say, hey, Jessica, I'm in Texas, Ohio, wherever, I know harm reductionists in almost all 50 states. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. You never know what someone is going through. Okay. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, anything I didn't make clear that you didn't understand, please leave it in the comments so I can get back to you guys so you guys are walking around with good information out there. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.